to give negativity permission to be inside. And as long as you don't invite it in, you'll be okay and safe. And then you have like so many things tempting around you, like the vampire. So it was so deep. It was so deep. That's the reason I cried for like a whole hour.
Blue Ivy looked like she's 25. No one realizes that she has never been allowed to have a real childhood like Rumi. When Blue Ivy recently performed on stage with her mother Beyoncé during the Cowboy Carter tour, she frequently changed her looks. At only 13 years old, she wore 5 sets of high-end, custom-made outfits in one night of the premiere. Tasseled leather pants, a corset, and sequined gloves. All these were the treatments that celebrities received.
Have Grammys, like they don't sing yet. They don't sing. Right. They don't rap yet, and they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they come.
Chlöe Bailey just broke the silence, saying something no one under Beyoncé's label ever dared to say out loud. And now, she's paying the price for it in plain sight. So, what did Chlöe actually say that got her iced out? She straight up accused Beyoncé of tossing artists aside if they posed a threat to her reign. Chlöe and her sister, Halle, both got powerhouse voices, serious stage energy, and crazy talent. But instead of lifting them up, Beyoncé allegedly boxed them in. No space on her tour, no promo, no shout-outs, not even basic streaming love. Nothing. Why? Because Beyoncé wanted her daughter Blue Ivy to take center stage and carry the throne. But let's be real. Chloe's stage presence and dancing, it's on a whole different level. Blue's got the name, but she ain't matching Chloe's raw performance skills. Now here's where things get wild. Right after Chlöe mentioned Blue's name in a now-deleted interview, her entire team ghosted her. And just like that, the job offers dried up.
Restricted this again. Hating. You know what? Anytime I realize or come across someone hating, I'm like, damn, I'm really that great? Someone like little old me, you gonna hate on? Thank you there for that love. So anytime you have a hater, or anytime you know people trying to stop you or anything like that, just know that just doubles down on how great you are. Because if you weren't anything special, no one would be putting...
But Chlöe didn't back down. She jumped on Instagram Live and pulled the curtain back even further, calling out not just Parkwood, but the whole industry. She said there's twisted stuff happening behind the scenes. Real dark energy. Want a clue? Chlöe pointed to Michael B. Jordan's movie Sinners and said that's the truth of what artists go through. According to her, the music world is full of shady deals with forces that want way more than just your talent. They want your soul. Chlöe dropped, "After Sinners, I cried." And you could feel the pain behind those words. She didn't hold back during her TikTok live either. Chlöe finally opened up about why her career's been hitting so many roadblocks. She talked about Sinners again. Yeah, it's entertaining, but it hit different for her. She said the heavy symbols in the film made her emotional because it mirrored the exact kind of spiritual mess she's seen in the industry. If you've seen Sinners, then you already know. It's more than just a spooky flick. Michael B. Jordan plays twin brothers, Smoke and Stack, running a juke joint in 1930s Clarksdale, Mississippi. But they're not just fighting for music. They're battling something darker. Vampires trying to snatch the town's soul, stealing its culture, its stories, its rhythm. Back to Chlöe, though. She didn't just watch Sinners for entertainment. She connected with it on a deep level.
Or you are in business with somebody, that's part of what you assume or what you think, right? If I'm an artist and I sign to anybody, and I seen Jay-Z do it to his biggest artists, Beanie Siegel, to Rihanna, to Kanye, to Emil, you know, he promoted his.
Chlöe said she's witnessed artists getting cornered into a brutal choice. Either stay real to their art or sell out to survive. And here's the crazy part. Right after she started talking like this, stuff in her life started changing. Suddenly, it was like her freedom got clipped. Someone somewhere didn't like what she said, but fans are catching on. And they're not just rallying behind Chlöe because of Sinners. They think there's a much bigger issue. More and more people are whispering one name, Beyoncé. Yep, Some fans are saying Beyoncé herself might be the reason Chlöe's career keeps stalling. But why would she do that? Why sign Chlöe just to watch her flop? Well, there's one theory floating around that's got folks talking. Some believe Beyoncé only signed Chlöe as a placeholder, a way to keep the spotlight warm until Blue Ivy was ready to take center stage. And now that Blue's stepping out, Beyoncé's allegedly making sure no one else stands in her way. And the way she's been pushing Blue into the limelight, it's definitely looking intentional, not some random move. Here's where it gets even messier. Insiders in the industry have already accused Beyoncé and Jay-Z of doing the most to launch Blue Ivy. Remember when 50 Cent threw shade and suggested the Carters bought Blue a Grammy at just 9 years old? That moment had everybody raising eyebrows. You can love or hate 50 Cent, but let's be real. Blue Ivy holding a Grammy? That felt like a slap to the face for artists who've been grinding for years, like Chlöe Bailey. It's not about hate, it's about fairness. Chlöe's been putting in serious work, and yet it's Blue who's got the trophy. Let's rewind real quick. Chlöe first hit the spotlight back in 2015 after she and her sister Halle dropped a stunning cover of Pretty Hurts on YouTube. Just 2 weeks later, Beyoncé's team at Parkwood Entertainment swooped in with a $1 million record deal. That deal locked them in for up to 6 albums across 5 years. It was a major win, or so it seemed. In 2016, Chlöe and Halle made their official debut with the EP Sugar Symphony, and they even got to open for Beyoncé during the European leg of the Formation World Tour. The buzz was real. Everyone thought they were next in line to blow up. Between 2017 and 2020, they released a mixtape, The Two of Us, and 2 full studio albums, The Kids Are All Right and Ungodly Hour. Both got praise from critics, and fans loved their vibe. Everything looked like it was on track, until things shifted in 2021. That's when Halle moved to London to start filming Disney's The Little Mermaid, and Chlöe went solo. But the moment Chlöe started showing a different side of herself, stepping out with a bold, sexier image, the drama began.
Cried. Do you know why I cried? Yes or no? Or you're just like, Chlöe, you cried because you're a crybaby. You're still me. So I think anyone who, it just reminds you so much of the industry, right? And it's like, you could have a gift like he did with his guitar. And like they said, when he's singing, he's honoring his ancestors and uplifting and all of that, but then it also attracts the not good. So it's like, in order for him to be successful, the vampires were telling him he has to sell out so that he could be, so that he could live forever and his music could live forever. And it's exactly like things that I see and go through every day. And that's why I just like broke down crying, because it was showing like the people who decided not to go to the other side, they were in there fighting for their lives, they were in there going through it, while the ones who did give in, they were outside celebrating and having a good time and got things quicker and things like that. So the reason why Sinners resonated with me so much is because it's something that you see every day, and no matter how hard you work, no matter how good of a person that you are, no matter how talented you are, sometimes that's not enough to get you places that you need to be. And that's why Sinners, like, I was crying right after, because I feel like anyone in the industry could really resonate.
Suddenly, the same fans who praised her vocals were calling her out for losing her way. It really got heated after she dropped that wild cover of Nina Simone's Feeling Good in July 2021. Chlöe's voice? Flawless. But the moves? Over the top sexy and totally off from what the song was about. Feeling Good was written during the civil rights era. It was deep, powerful, emotional. So seeing it performed with heavy, sensual choreography made fans feel like something wasn't right. That moment sparked a whole new conversation. People started asking if Beyoncé was even guiding Chlöe the right way, or if she was just letting her spiral for clout. The image, the direction, the messaging, it all felt off. And suddenly the fans weren't just questioning Chlöe. They were looking at Beyoncé sideways too. A lot of folks started saying Parkwood took the lazy way out with Chlöe. They focused on over-sexualizing her instead of showing off her real gift, her voice. And when the video for her debut single Have Mercy dropped, the internet went wild, and not in a good way. Fans dragged it hard, saying it looked cheap and low budget. Some even said the whole thing had a creepy, almost possessed vibe. But instead of stepping in and steering Chlöe's career in the right direction, Parkwood just kept making one bad call after another. After Have Mercy, Chlöe dropped Treat Me, And again, it was all about the sexy image. Over the top, forced, and kind of exhausting to watch. People started asking, why does every move Chlöe makes feel like it's being pushed in the wrong direction? Everything since Have Mercy looked like a setup. Chlöe was out here putting her heart into the work, but her label? They left her hanging. Time and time again. You'd think being signed to a global icon like Beyoncé would come with protection and power moves, but Chlöe didn't get either. She was basically stranded out in the industry with no real support. Then came January 24th, 2023. Chlöe finally announced her debut solo album, In Pieces. Fans were hyped at first, but when the lead single, Pray It Away, dropped, the energy fizzled fast. Chlöe switched it up. The lyrics and visuals were toned down, clean, more spiritual. But the song didn't land. It didn't hit the charts hard. And honestly, it just didn't stand out. But the real controversy came with her second single, a collab with none other than Chris Brown. That one triggered a whole wave of backlash. People were stunned that Beyoncé, or anyone on her team, signed off on that, especially considering Chris's history with Rihanna, who was once under Jay-Z's wing. No shade to Chlöe, but that decision felt off. Like, really off. Of all the artists she could have worked with, why him? And it didn't stop there. When In Pieces finally dropped, fans were left shocked. The whole album fell flat. Despite Chloe's insane talent, the music felt aimless and overly polished to the point where it lost all soul. People expected a banger, a breakout moment, but instead, it felt like the label didn't know what to do with her. And what really had fans scratching their heads?
Barry, when Aaliyah died, for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million for her death. Am I supposed to say that on TV? For $90 million for her death.
Was that just for his rights or whatever he owned?
What she would have been able to make if she hadn't have died.
Oh, okay. There was a lot of lawsuits.
I guess. Okay. But that was the settlement. I wasn't in. I was there when we went over to he got $90 million. He wouldn't stayed at the L'Hermitage Hotel. We ate good. and straight in deep mourning.
Chlöe didn't even include two of her most recognizable songs on the album. Like, how do you leave out the tracks that got people talking in the first place? The whole rollout felt rushed, messy, and confused. And sadly, Chlöe was the one who took all the heat for it. Leaving Have Mercy and Treat Me off Chloe's debut album, that was a straight-up head-scratcher. For an artist just breaking out solo, cutting two of her biggest buzz tracks made 0 sense. But it gets worse. When In Pieces finally dropped, it barely scraped the Billboard 200. The album debuted at number 119 and sold just a little over 10,000 units in its first week. Yikes. Now let's put that in perspective. Back when Chlöe and Halle released their second album, Ungodly Hour, it debuted at number 16 on the same Billboard 200 chart, selling 24,000 units in its first week, and it even snagged a Grammy nomination. So what changed between then and now? What was Parkwood doing so wrong with Chloe's solo rollout? That's where fans started pointing fingers at Beyoncé. Some even wondered if she was low-key sabotaging Chloe's career. It sounds wild at first. But the signs started adding up. Beyoncé barely posted about Chlöe on social media. No promo, no shoutouts, no features, no real backing. And remember, Beyoncé handpicked Chlöe to be on Parkwood. So where was the support? Even DJ Envy from The Breakfast Club called it out. He said Beyoncé could have done the bare minimum, like reposting Chloe's album on Instagram, and that alone could have boosted her to a top 50 debut. Just one simple post. But Beyoncé didn't lift a finger. Not even a casual mention. Fans didn't miss it either. They noticed that Beyoncé didn't give Chlöe a feature or a single cosign, and she didn't invite her to open for her on tour. Nothing. And now, a growing number of fans think this might not be accidental at all. They believe Beyoncé is deliberately keeping Chlöe in the shadows, so Blue Ivy can rise without competition. Think about it. Blue's already got a Grammy, performed at the Oscars at just 10 years old, and now she's literally dancing on tour with her mom. Beyoncé seems to be grooming Blue as the next queen and doesn't want anyone, especially someone as talented as Chlöe getting in her way. But here's where things take a darker turn. People online are whispering about those long-standing rumors that Beyoncé and Jay-Z sacrifice artists who pose a threat to their empire. And if that's true, Chlöe might have been their latest target. Let's get into the part that really sends chills. Some hip-hop fans believe Jay-Z may have sacrificed Aaliyah just so Beyoncé could rise to the top. Sounds wild? Well, Dame Dash, Aaliyah's ex and Jay's former business partner, claimed that Jay-Z was seriously trying to get with Aaliyah. But according to Dame, Aaliyah wasn't feeling Jay at all. Then, in 2001, she tragically died in that plane crash in the Bahamas. And guess what? That same year, Jay started dating Beyoncé. Now here's the part that gets even darker. Witnesses said Aaliyah was given a sedative and carried onto the plane while she was unconscious. People believe she wasn't even awake when she boarded that jet, and Mary J. Blige once said that Aaliyah's death was a spiritual murder. That's not a random claim. That sounded like someone who knew something wasn't right. Fast forward to 2018, and Beyoncé's own inner circle started making chilling claims too. Her longtime drummer, Kimberly Thompson, who worked with her for 7 years, straight up accused Beyoncé of practicing extreme witchcraft and even filed a restraining order. Yeah, you heard that right. Thompson claimed Beyoncé was into sacrifices and spiritual attacks. Wild, right? And then there's Ashley Everett, Beyoncé's dance captain for nearly a decade. She got caught liking shady posts and comments calling Beyoncé a demon. That's not just shade. That's someone from the inside possibly co-signing some heavy accusations. But here's the part nobody's talking about. Right after Chloe's bold Instagram Live, where she talked about sinners and refused to sell her soul, things got real weird. One of the other Parkwood artists quietly wiped their socials clean, and this same artist had a collab lined up with Chlöe, but it vanished from the rollout with zero explanation. Insiders are now saying that maybe they saw something too, something they weren't supposed to. So what's really going on behind the scenes at Parkwood? If Chlöe was brave enough to speak out, she might have just opened the door for others to follow. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more deep dives like this. And trust, this isn't the end of it. See you in the next one.